I want to talk to you about your budget. Good morning and welcome to In the Car with Clint. I'm just heading into my fifth day of the Australian Institute of Company Directors Board governance training course. I'm not even sure what it's called. I really should look that up. But it's been 4 very good days of education, and I've met some very intelligent and friendly people who I believe I will stay in touch with for the rest of my business career and life. Now, yesterday was accounting and numbers, and we had a specialist come in and talk to us about understanding your budget, understanding your profit and loss, understanding your cash flow statement, and being able to ask the critical questions that are surrounded or that are connected to those reports when you're given them. Now, first point that came out of yesterday was that as a financial employee, so a CFO, a finance officer, it is your job to report the facts. You are not responsible for what happens, you are responsible for accurately reporting them. And I think a lot of times, or sometimes, you might find that a CFO or a finance officer may inadvertently or on purpose change the results or fluff the results to make it look better than it is, so they don't upset the CEO or the managing director. That is not healthy behavior. Without accurate numbers, as a business owner, you are incapable of making decisions around the business, and there's a good chance that if you don't know that it's going bad, that it's going to get worse, and that you can't make corrections. Now, as a director, you've got a responsibility to the company to keep the company going. This is stuff I've learned, and that is your only, ultimately, your first priority is to the company, legally. Now, obviously, you can be a good person and treat your staff well and treat your customers well and all that, and still do that. But as far as the government are concerned, your first priority is to the company and making sure that the company is able to pay its debts when they come due and that it continues as a going concern. Now, for a lot of people, budgeting doesn't make sense, and I've been talking about doing a video on it for a while, and I will get to it. I was hoping that someone would kind of jump out and say, hey, do my business, and I could, do their business. But I can't. So what I want to talk to you about today is a real simple way of understanding a business budget, and hopefully it helps some of you that haven't done it. So as an individual, if you have a job, you have an income stream, which in the majority of cases is a wage, and then in some cases is share dividends or other forms of income that come into your life, inheritance, you sell something and make a profit from it, that kind of thing. But money comes in. So if you have a budget, you'll have the amount of money that comes in is clear, and you understand what that is, and then you work out what the amount of money that's going out is, which is, paying for your mortgage, having your, I've got to stop saying, electricity bills, kids' school fees, clothes, all the stuff that you need to spend money on, that comes out. So the idea is that the number that comes in is higher than the number that goes out, and then you're left with profit, right? So as an individual, you will have profit from your life, right? As a business, that income is the stuff that you sell, or the services that you provide, and then the costs are rent on a building, petrol, car payments for us, trucks, marketing, employee wages, all that. Now, it sounds really simple, but the idea is that the money coming in is higher than the money going out. Now, the money going out, in a profit and loss kind of point of view, doesn't include your taxes, your GST's not in there. So you've got a responsibility that you keep enough money to cover everything, and then pay your taxes, and then retain profit. That's your profit and loss. And this is very hard to explain while driving and without a whiteboard, but I just wanted to kind of give you a bit of an understanding, so that as a business owner, you can go back, if you haven't done this already, and go, all right, I know, you work from the bottom up. I know that as a business, I need to pay staff, I need to pay wages, the same thing. I need to pay my rent, or I need to pay my loans on my buildings. I need to pay my cars. I need to pay any registrations and licensing with the government. I need to pay for marketing. I need to pay for stationery, incidentals, everything that you need to pay for goes down here. Now, if you're a labor-based business, like if you're a sole trader or a 2-person plumbing business, for example, you can use that number to work out how much you should be charging at the top, because you know that you've got to make all these payments. Then you work out how many hours a day of chargeable work you can reasonably do. And for some people, that might only be 6 hours a day in an 8-hour day, because you've got to, travel between locations. You work out how much money you need. You work out how many hours you're able to charge out per day or per week, and then make sure that the number that you're charging per hour is a higher number in total than the outgoings for the business. Now, I know that sounds really simple, but not enough people do it. And by doing it, you'll be able to understand when you're, if you're not getting enough hours. So then all you need to know, like once you've worked that out, as the business owner or the operator, is that if you go out today and work, you have to charge 6 hours of work today. And if you charge 6 hours of work today and nothing goes wrong in the business, you'll make enough money to cover all your outgoings, and you'll still have some retained profit for you as a business owner. I encourage everyone to sit down and do that. It's something that they do. If you go get a builder's license, they do an accounting and a legal course. The legal course kind of talks to you about your responsibilities, contracts, that kind of thing. I think the accounting one's more important. I've talked about this before. I think having a high functioning accounting, or a high quality accounting function in your business, and a focus on numbers, is more important than having a constant access to a lawyer. You don't want to use lawyers, and you shouldn't have to use lawyers, and you want to avoid using lawyers. You want to know where to go to get good lawyers, and how much they should cost, and how you interact with them, and what the process looks like. You don't want to use them regularly, because it costs money, and it costs a lot of money, and it doesn't generally bring anything back. With accounting, I've talked about it 100 times before, but I meet with my accountant, and we talk about the business, and we understand the what it should look like, and we understand what it does look like, and we put them together, and then we can make adjustments around that. You as a business owner, no matter how big or small that is, should be doing that, and it doesn't differ much from your personal finances, which is another thing. I mean, a lot of business owners have a business budget, but not a personal budget. I'm one of them. But if your business makes enough money to cover your life, then maybe don't worry about it. But so that's the gist of it. So that's profit and loss. I'm not going to talk about anything else today, because this has already gone into 7 minutes zone, and it's going to lose your attention. But just understand that you have a responsibility for your business to be able, like legal responsibility, not just a social responsibility or an emotional responsibility or a societal responsibility, but you have a legal responsibility to Australia to be able to run your company and pay your dues when they become due, your debts. And the best way to do that, we talked about it yesterday, was to have a strategy, then to have a budget, and then it becomes really easy, because when you're watching all the things that you've set out as the goals, if anything goes off track a little bit, you can correct it. You don't want to try and correct your business 5 months after it's failed. It's too late. Then you're in trouble. So that is that. If anyone wants to open up their business to me doing a budget on camera, hit me up. Obviously, being in South Australia is going to make that much more possible. I don't know how much of that we could share with the world, and whether or not we could kind of try to hide some numbers, but I want to go through it and talk about all the ratios that you might want to look at, and then reverse engineer it, make sure that you're concentrating on the right things. I think it will bring a lot of value to a lot of people. So hit me up if that's something that you're happy for me to do for you, but it needs to be able to be videotaped so that I can share it with the community. Other than that, be kind to each other. Enjoy this day if you're in South Australia, and I will chat to you next week. It's weekend time. It's Friday, yeah. So, yeah, I didn't get to do any work this week. It's kind of a bit, but next week it is. Be kind to each other, and I'll chat to you on Monday. See